Your Thally and your YouTube psychic. Card of the day. Readings. Unboxings. Your daily source for things arcane.
Well, it wouldn't be Monday without a warning. So today we're going to be talking about a hospital, nurses, poisoning, drowning, waterboarding, and murder, prison, all the good stuff. So if any of these things sounds like they are going to trigger you, I suggest that you skip this video. And if not, let's dig in. Now, today's video is about a group of women who ran a serial killer ring in Austria back in the 80s. So, this is the factual video of the facts that I could find on the internet. Again, I am not an investigative journalist, nor am I a private detective. So all of the information that I have found is the same thing that you could find if you go digging around on the internet. And this video is also difficult because I couldn't find very many pictures of the ladies themselves, could not find a list of victims. I guess because it was done in Austria and, Vienna, Austria, and they may have different laws according to their offenders. So, buckle up and let's get started. All right, now, a lot of these places are, of course, places in Austria, and I cannot pronounce most of this stuff, so bear with me while I try. So, Maria Gruber, Irene Leidolf, Stefania Meyer, and Waltraud Wagner were four Austrian women who worked as nurses' aides at the Wienerwald in Lanes, Vienna, and who murdered scores of patients between 1983 and 1989. The group killed their victims with overdoses of morphine or by forcing water into their lungs. By 2008, all four women would have been released from prison. Wagner, 23, was the first to kill a patient with an overdose of morphine in 1983. She discovered in this process that she enjoyed playing God and holding the power of life and death in her hands. She recruited Gruber, 19, and Leidolf, 21, and eventually the house mother of the group, 43-year-old Stefania Meyer. Soon, they had invented their own murder method. While one held the victim's head and pinched their nose, another would pour water into the victim's mouth until they drowned in their bed. Since elderly patients frequently had fluid in their lungs, it was an unprovable crime. The group killed patients who were feeble, but many were not terminally ill. Investigators criticized the hospital for meeting them with a wall of silence as they attempted to look into the suspicious 1988 death. The aides were caught after a doctor overheard them bragging about their latest murder at a local tavern. In total, they confessed to 49 murders over 6 years, but may have been responsible for as many as 200. In 1991, Wagner was convicted of 15 murders, 17 attempts, and 2 counts of assault. She was sentenced to life in prison. Leidolf was received a life sentence as well on conviction of 5 murders. Meyer and Gruber received 20 years and 15 years respectively for manslaughter and attempted murder charges. In 2008, the Justice Ministry in Austria announced that it would release Wagner and Ladoff from prison due to good behavior. Meyer and Gruber had been released several years earlier and had assumed new identities to protect themselves from retaliation. Most of their victims were infirm patients, or patients who could not take care of themselves, most of them being in their 70s or 80s. Their victims were either killed by lethal injection or forced to drink water until they couldn't anymore, and water ended up in their lungs, thusly drowning them. Now, one of the nurses was quoted by the police as saying, "The ones who got on my nerves were dispatched directly to a free bed with the good Lord." Dr. Pessendorfer defended his actions, saying he had alerted the authorities, doctors, and supervisory nurses, and ordered autopsies as soon as suspicions were raised. "What more could I have done?" he said. Dr. Pessendorfer said the dead were not victims of the system, but victims of crimes that could not have been anticipated and prevented. Now, I did look for a picture of Dr. Pessendorfer, but of course there was no picture to be found. Now, these women were nurses' aides, and their actual job description was listed as being one of the ones to assist the residents, as in bathing, feeding, cleaning up after them. None of them should have been giving injections or, drowning them, for the lack of a better term. From what was said, or what I found, they were, the facility was actually fined for, these ladies, the nurses' aides being given so much to do. The problem is that the nurses worked 60 hours a week and only made, a very small amount per month. The nurses' aides made half of what the nurses made, and so when it came to patients being unruly, disruptive, or annoying, they decided to dispatch of them because they didn't want to have to deal with them.
Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to my content and like this video. Want more? Feel free to order your own personal reading at www.tirthalion.com. That's tirthalion.com. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a video.